It's again noteworthy that we have stayed consistent with our resolution to build a conscience of our democratic governance through engagements and timely criticisms that is expected to help government at all levels take the right decisions. The challenges in the country are biting harder and making life difficult for Nigerians at all levels. The cost of goods in particular is making a mess of the income of the average Nigerian, and this, unfortunately, is leading to eradication of the middle class. This reality saddens us, and we will make a few suggestions to the federal government. Back home, we will also be offering counsel to the Osun State government in areas of governance that we have found the current government deficient. We only hope that our suggestions are received in good faith and acted upon timelessly. This address will briefly address the issues we have identified for the month of February 2024 and provide solutions where necessary. Inflation and the economy. We have keenly followed the efforts by the Central Bank of Nigeria to stabilize the naira and stem the current tide of inflation. We found some of the steps commendable, and we can see for ourselves that there is a marked improvement in the exchange rate in recent days. However, to make the improvements permanent, the Central Bank must firm its monetary policy and be a lot more deliberate in its efforts to end speculation and sharp practices in the forex market. Commercial banks must be keenly monitored to ensure that we do not return to the days of forex hoarding that created a needless forex scarcity in the past. To secure our long-term prosperity, however, the federal government must now stimulate exports and local manufacturing, including local refining of our crude oil. We must end our rent-seeking and improve on our supplies to the global market to truly earn forex. If we fail to do this, we shall be back where we started in no distant time. We hold it a duty to ourselves to ensure that we play better in the global markets and reduce our over-reliance on imports, which has put pressure on our forex earnings over the years. To arrest the skyrocketing prices of commodities, the federal government must make temporary and permanent plans that may include importation of food, starting from the reopening of our borders in the short term, and massive investment in local food production as a long-term measure. Government cannot stubbornly insist on disallowing food importation when we obviously are not producing enough to feed ourselves, especially with the security challenges in some parts of the country. Let us gradually phase out food importation, not attempt a drastic end to it. We understand the need for self-sustenance in our food production, but it's a journey that must be gradualized and planned within the context of our current realities. Reducing the size of the civil service. We received with mixed reactions the news of the Federal Executive Council's decision to fully implement the Oronsaye report in a bid to reduce the size of the federal government and cut costs. The Oronsaye report submitted in 2012 provides a practical approach to cutting costs of governance through the optimization of the civil service. We agree in totality that the Nigerian civil service is overbloated, and there are indeed many agencies with very similar roles. However, we think that reducing cost of governance should not only be through the civil service, we must also reduce cost of governance through the public service. As we reduce government expenditure through reduction of the civil service, we must also reduce government expenditure through drastic reduction of the population of political appointees. There are more than 3,000 legislative aides in the National Assembly alone. For example, we already have too many members in the National Assembly. The number of aides they have, then makes it even worse. We must take the initiative for reducing costs of governance further by merging ministries to reduce the number of ministers, drastically reducing the number of aides of political appointees and elected office holders, reducing the number of special advisors and senior special assistants to Mr. President, reducing the population of statutory boards, and lastly, reduce drastically the financial reward for political office holders. When we make political office less financially attractive, we all will go back to the drawing board as a nation and get productive. This is the only way we can grow. Palliative distribution in Osun State. Some months ago, we queried the Osun State government's approach to the utilization of palliatives received from the federal government and its own palliative plans at a time where other states are looking for ways to ease the pressure of subsidy removal on their citizens. For clarity, every state of the Federation received 2 billion naira from the federal government to provide palliatives for their citizens. States also received thousands of bags of rice and maize to be distributed to their citizens. This is in addition to the increase in statutory allocations to states since subsidy on fuel was removed. The questions we continue to ask the Osun State government, however, include how has the Osun State government utilized the 2 billion naira it received? Stubbornly insisting on adding the sum to its 100 billion naira infrastructural plan is diversion of funds, and it's as criminal as it is inhuman. We are also asking what the state government's additional palliatives are. Other states of the Federation are taking critical steps to reduce the hardship on their people. What is Osun doing? Provisions of Imalede buses is not palliative to the generality of Osun State. We are also asking the Osun State government what it is doing with the allocation windfall it is receiving from the federal government. When times are easier, government should be seen taking deliberate steps to plan for tough days ahead. What are we doing with the increased figures we received today? We are also asking the state government, what is the state agricultural production plan? What is Osun State doing to achieve food sufficiency here in the state? Where is the Osun State Commissioner for Agri at a time like this? What is his ministry doing? The Osun State government, under Senator Ademola Jackson Adeleke, must answer these questions and clarify what it is doing to ensure the state's short and long-term prosperity. Continued closure of courts. Almost 2 weeks after the governor announced that the state government had reached a compromise with JUSUM, the courts in Osun State remain closed. This is lending credence to the suspicions from quarters that the Osun State government is indeed behind the problem, using the impasse to cripple the justice system in the state as a proxy war against the state's chief judge. However, whatever the true intention of the state government are, continued closure of the courts cripples administration of criminal justice and protection of innocent citizens, and this is not acceptable. The court must open now. Whatever politics is being played behind the curtains must stop immediately, so we can allow this critical arm of government to perform its functions. Mining issues in Osun. The rise in illegal mining highlights fundamental social, institutional, and structural problems in Nigeria's governance system. It reveals the prevailing socio-economic problems in the region, especially the inadequate responses to poverty and poor service delivery by the government to the people involved. The youth in particular have limited income generating opportunities, and this is where the sponsors of illegal mining recruit their labor force. The involvement of foreign corporations in illegal mining is another sign of poor governance. We have not forgotten so soon the calamity that befell the people of Oyo State in recent time, and with the rate of illegal mining in Osun, we can't say God forbid. We challenge the state government to profile the miners in Osun and ensure that dynamites are not necessarily handled to forestall the occurrence of Oyo in Osun. Illegal miners often front for politically connected individuals who collaborate with foreign nationals and corporations to sell gold. This mineral is routinely smuggled, and while we do not accuse anyone just yet, profiling of miners in the state will be of great help. It is the root of the problem in several states, if you care to find out. Conclusion. The Osun masterminds remain committed to the development of Osun State and Nigeria in general, and we shall continue to put government and its actors to task in this regard. We are partners in progress, and we will not at any point in time malign the person or character of anybody in government. We desire to see progress in our communities as we are partakers of whatever becomes of our state and country. We thank you for coming, ladies and gentlemen, and wish you a blissful year. Thank you very much.